Hello there, welcome to the regulars. Game of Thrones, The Dragon and the Wolf, Season 7 finale. If this is way too long-winded, because this episode was an hour and a half, check the link below for our fast version.
Okay? I almost hit it all.
Almost. Spoilers.
Almost.
Spoilers.
Almost.
You know, the funny thing is, after we started doing these fast forwards, people have watched this version more. I don't know why.
Really?
Yeah.
That's good to know. People watch us?
Yeah, we do. We actually have a couple of fans.
A whole two.
Hi,
Grandma in Germany.
Hi, Grandma Germany.
Oh, God.
Oh, good. Okay, so we're talking about the finale today, which was an hour and a half long, like balls on head, retarded hard.
Balls on head.
Yeah, balls on head. So, should we just go through it normally? Storyline?
Yeah, let's just go through its storyline. That's how I have my notes broken down.
So everybody is gathering at King's Landing for the big talk. Again, we get kind of like this big super group of who's who. We get a lot of reunions, which is nice. Probably the one I was most excited about was Brienne and the Hound. Brienne.
You've kind of found this happy medium between the audiobook version of her name.
What's their audiobook version again?
Audiobook is Brienne.
Brienne, that's it.
And she's Brienne in the TV show, and you just kind of made a hodgepodge of both of them.
Brienne. In the audiobook version, he has this like beautiful like. He does so good Irish accents. That's all I'm saying. Tyrion's Irish in the book.
He does so good Irish. I know. I need to go back to the audiobooks.
Yeah.
So we start off outside of the Red Keep.
Yep.
And that's when we see the Unsullied and the Dothraki, and like Bronn and Jaime are about to shit their pants.
Pretty much.
And they're just they're doing their thing. What else do we got going on? Then we go inside and everybody's waiting in the dragon pit. Everyone's rolling up to the dragon pit. And that's like when Brienne and Pod meet up with the Dany crew. And they're minus Dany. And the Hound gets to like see Brienne for the first time since she sort of killed him.
Which is almost as good as the Hound and Torrhen talking. It's almost on par for me with that, because she's like, I thought you were dead. He's like, not dead yet. You're close to trying. He's like, who's watching Arya if she's alive? I'm not worried about her. I'm worried about the poor sap who runs into her next, and he just has this smirk on his face.
Yeah, no, she's pretty good at killing people now.
That's my girl. It's great.
It was cute. No, that was one of my favorite. That was one of my favorite parts of the whole sequence.
Yeah. Because everybody else was just kind of meh.
Yeah, it's not. It wasn't all like super exciting. Like, this episode is actually getting a lot of flack on the internet.
I don't know why. It was a very.
I thought it was a solid episode.
Can we talk about this real fast? Let's derail. This is what we do, and this is my fucking show. I don't care. A lot of people throwing all kinds of flack on these last couple episodes, and I think they've been fantastic. Like, they're bitching about time changing so fast or people moving around too far, and I'm just like, guys, you're literally, like, last episode, you're complaining about how fast a Raven and how fast Gendry can run when there's a goddamn zombie army and dragons showing up.
We ain't got time for that.
Right? You'd bitch and complain if they took realistic time and we were there for 5 episodes.
I would bitch and complain
1000%
if it took them we don't have time for that anymore.
No, we don't. We're moving on.
I understand we had time for that in other seasons. Like the fact that it's taken 7 fucking seasons for the White Walkers to get to the wall from who the fuck knows where.
Right, and the Night's Watch got to them, moved back, got back to them, moved back.
Right.
Like, how many times have we run into the White Walkers and gotten back to the wall? And it's taken them 7 seasons to get here. Within the pilot, they're within like 30 yards from it, you know? It's just frustrating. Like, people are throwing all kinds of flack for no reason really at all.
Yeah. I mean, there were some like really weird parts of this episode and some like unanswered questions. And I'll get to them as I kind of like get to them.
Yeah.
Just as a proposed question. Like so we all get inside the dragon pit and everything, and finally Danny shows up on her dragon.
She does.
But like one of the weird things for me was, why did Bronn and Pod leave?
I think that was supposed to add that whole idea of tension that they're gonna get killed. It was like to show a version of power for Cersei. You know, it was a power play to say, "Oh, let's get them out of here and let them sweat it out for a minute." That's how I read it. It was a very weak
I don't
power
know.
play. It was more of a let's tease
Well,
the audience.
considering that Danny showed up on a fucking dragon, it's like, eh. The other thing that was weird to me is like, so the Cleganes meet back up, right? And they come face to face, and the Hound goes, "You know what's coming for you. You've known all along."
I think it just means he's finally gonna kill him proper.
I think, I think that's kind of leading towards Clegane Bowl.
Clegane
Um,
Bowl.
I think that's kind of where that was going, but I
Uh,
was kind of confused in case, like, because now that the Hound has fire visions, uh,
that was the Red Priest, not him. Come on now.
no, he had a fire vision too.
Yeah, because the Red Priest was doing it. He was like, "What do you see in the fire?" And he's like, "I see shit because I'm with you." He
I,
doesn't have it.
um,
Real talk, the Mountain's makeup sucked in this episode.
yeah, it
Really
was
bad.
bad.
It was really bad. Like they blew
He
all
looked
their
super dead,
they blew their whole budget on everything else in the season.
and that's, that is what it is.
I just had to bring
What
that up.
else? What else? Fucking Bono.
Bono,
Just fucking Bono.
like he was such a waste in this episode. Well, pretty much in this whole season because he was there for like what, episode 1 in this episode, pretty much.
Yeah.
He was kind of wasted, and I don't know. It was weird, and even finding out what happened, like his grand scheme of things at the end of the episode, still felt a little disjarring.
Right.
So
I just found myself angry. Like, what the fuck is he doing? Like, why is he here? Waste my episode. But I guess it wasn't a waste of the episode.
yeah,
But we'll get to that later. And then so we start talking, and then we go into the White Walker demonstration,
which was
which was very well done.
I thought it was really well done, and I was really happy on how everyone reacted realistically.
Yeah.
Because I was expecting Cersei to be like, "Oh, that's just some trick," and totally
Right.
not believe it because that's just Cersei being difficult because she doesn't want to be helpful.
Right.
But to see her honestly scared and in shock and in awe was really, again, Cersei, baby, I love you. I love you. This episode's
I love
great
ya.
for you.
I love ya, kid. I love ya.
You rule that Iron Throne, baby. You do it.
Well, and like, God, she had such a good episode.
She had a really
Like,
good episode. She had a
she
great
had
episode.
really had a good episode. I mean, she's had a good season. Like, her character's really strong. Like, that's a killer fucking character to play.
Yeah, and she's been nailing it since season 1. That's the thing.
Right. And so you do the White Walker demonstration, and Cersei says that, okay, cool, she bites. But she's only going to do it if Jon stays in the north. And Jon,
I love it. I saw it.
God, this is literally, I just wanted them to have Danny say, "You know nothing, Jon Snow."
Because John just goes, "I'd like to say that because I'm an honorable man, but because I'm an honorable man, I can't listen to two queens. I already pledged to Daenerys." And you're just like, "John, you idiot! You done
You
fucked
fucked the
up."
whole thing up. You done goofed.
But at the
You
same
done
time,
goofed because he had to tell the truth because he's Jon fucking
and I
Snow.
love it, and it's so good, and it's perfect, and I wouldn't want it any other way. I really wouldn't. I think my favorite, again, I was following this meme thing of like the best reactions to the whole episode.
Yeah.
And it's just Danny going, "God, that was stupid, but it was
But
so fucking
that's so
sexy."
Yeah. But it did lead up to like one of my favorite lines from Tyrion this season is like, "Have you ever considered learning to lie? I don't know, just a bit."
Just a bit.
Like, and I was like, yes, this is so Tyrion Lannister.
Which then Tyrion gets a great, fucking as great as Cersei's was. Tyrion their scene together
It's solid.
was, again, why these two people are getting top billed.
Yeah.
Because they were fantastic together. Tyrion goes to go talk to her, and he runs into Jamie. Jamie! And they have a great little conversation about, I was talking at her, and till she sent me away. And then he's like, well, don't worry, I'm gonna walk in there, and she's probably gonna kill me. And he's like, yeah, she's probably gonna kill me too.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, that's great. This is like a Lannister
Growing
love
up.
that we haven't seen
Right.
in a long, long time, since they've always been apart, and it's really great to see them together. And Tyrion goes in there, and it's venom-filled attacks at each other, and it was beautiful.
So Cersei.
That's so Cersei. And
God, she's such a bitch, but I love
I
it.
honestly thought she was gonna pull the trigger.
I really did.
I was like,
I thought she was gonna do it. But
is my boy Tyrion
like,
going out like this?
she didn't have me going as long as later in the episode with Jamie.
Oh, no. She was stellar.
Yeah.
Just how great everything was. It's just the fact that I actually thought Tyrion was gonna bite it there.
What I like about this is that we still don't know whether or not she's actually pregnant. And I was reading theories online like I do, and I stumbled across the one where maybe she's just saying that she's pregnant to manipulate her brothers, because if you think about it right now, it's not really known if Qyburn knows about it, so it's safe to assume the only people that know that she's pregnant now are Tyrion and Jamie.
Yeah, it's entirely possible.
And it got, granted, in this case, it allowed Tyrion to manipulate her.
Yeah.
But in the case of Jamie, I think she was gonna just get him to fucking stick around. And oops.
Once we're done with this, we'll stay in King's Landing just to finish it out.
Okay.
Okay. So don't worry about that.
Well, I mean, that's basically where we leave off. It's Tyrion kind of talks her back into it. And he realizes during the conversation what she's alluding to is the fact that she's pregnant, and that's where her immediate thought was when she saw the White Walker.
Yeah. Which, again, the reason why I think she's pregnant, because it was so well done that I feel like I have to believe her. If Tyrion and Jamie are getting played, I'm getting played too, and I'm okay with that.
My counter argument of that is that it didn't seem like she was afraid enough when the White Walker came after her, in my opinion. She did not, if you notice the first time it runs after, she doesn't try and get the fuck out the way. She just kind of sits there and recoils. And it's
bitch move.
Bitch move.
Real talk though, that whole lead up to the White Walker actually getting out of the box, I was actually afraid that it was either missing
or dead,
or someone some Lannister killed it.
Yeah, I had that fear too. It was really well set up, I really enjoyed it.
But then they cut from it and they cut back to the Dragon Pit, and another great scene with Dany and Jon just talking. One of the reasons why I'm still behind this... I
seriously thought he was going to just throw her up against the wall, though.
Right?
They're just setting up the sexual tension.
well, again, and we as the audience knows that this relationship still isn't right. I'm still shipping it. I don't give a shit, man. I've been waiting for this since
I'm
book
telling
one,
you, I am shipping it because it's the fucking Targaryen way.
They do it.
It's been happening, and everyone... I had a great conversation with a guy at work today, and he says, what I'm uncomfortable with is that they've been vilifying, Jamie and Cersei for being incestuous for 7 fucking seasons. And I'm like, but what you don't understand is that, this was the Targaryen way that they brought over, to Westeros when they conquered Westeros.
Yeah.
They have always wed brother to sister to or to cousin and everything like that to keep the bloodline pure. Not saying it's less gross, but it's the Targaryen way. The reason why it's heavily vilified with the Lannisters is that because they're not Targaryens.
Yeah. And
everybody just accepted that with the Targaryens as in something it was weird when a Targaryen wed outside of their family. If they did that, they did it for power.
Yeah. It was
Like,
yeah. It's like it's gross. We don't support incest on this show, but I'm shipping it hard.
I think it's fine.
Um,
She's totally gonna get pregos.
which leads to a great line of she's like, I can't have kids, and he's like, who told you that? The witch who murdered my husband. He's like, do you really think she is a
Did
credible source of
did it
information?
ever occur to you that she might not be a credible source? And I was like, oh, that's funny. I was slightly annoyed though because like you got like these little smirks out of them, but like I would have loved to see an honest to God smile. Like I'd have either one of them. Neither one of them smiles
Even
ever.
just like a giggle out of like them, just to
She
kind of
kind
like.
of she kind of almost giggled.
Well, it's just like even just like a one of those, and him
Yeah.
going.
Right. Yeah.
Like, just something to break up their serious face, because I swear Kit only has serious face mode.
Well, and that's what I'm saying.
I'm
is that
close
that's
friends
what I
with
would
Kit,
have
by the way.
wanted.
That's why I can use him by just the first
Oh,
name. Sup,
okay.
Kit. I know you're
Yeah,
watching this, buddy.
KH.
Sup, dude?
You okay? I need those hookups. So that's
Love you, buddy.
what's
You're doing
that's
great.
what's going on.
Um,
Uh,
cut to we're gonna finish up King's Landing.
cut to Jamie and Cersei.
A little bit later, Jamie is devising his plan to go north, and
Oh wait, we didn't talk about the. Oh wait, we
we're
did
s-
talk about the thing. No, we didn't. So when Cersei changed her mind, she said she had another great power
Oh.
line. She said like, I hope you remember that I did this without any guarantee from
With an-
anyone on your side.
or a promise that I'm doing it
Or
out of faith, and I'm just like, that's great. And I like that so much because it is still very much a super power move by Cersei that the next scene with them kind of undermines it, and it leaves a sour taste in my mouth. I don't know if you got that same feel.
yeah, no,
It-
I did because like I was like, holy shit, like that was a good power move for Cersei, like. Because she's gonna, when it comes back around for the Great War and everything like that, she can say like she still did this.
Yeah,
Like she would get people on her side, and I was like super pro Cersei. I mean, I'm always pro Cersei, but like on a different level. But yeah, and so it did. Yeah, when we get to the next scene, when she's in there and she's like, "I need to talk to my brother," and she tells Jamie like,
you're an idiot.
Just fucking kidding. Yeah, she's like, I always knew you were the dumbest of the Lannisters.
I hated it because it was like, yeah, I always, knowing the Lannisters and Cersei, I expected a secret plot, but like this is just straight up, yep, we're not going, and I'm just like, what? This is like, what did you gain from this at all? Nothing at all.
They left.
They left.
The big scary dragon is no longer in her city.
And then like, why I started liking Jamie from book 3 because it's a book 3, is because he's had this character arc where he's redeeming himself from being a dickbag.
Yeah.
And I am so glad he was like, I'm gonna go north, and she's like, I'm gonna kill you, and he's like, then fucking do it. And like,
And then she like nods to the mountain,
And
and
he
you
draws
think
his
something's
sword.
gonna happen.
and I thought I was gonna lose my second favorite Lannister.
I actually, that scared me more than I didn't actually think she would kill Tyrion.
No, I didn't think she
Like,
would kill Tyrion.
But I had a slight fear that they were going to like George R. Martin curveball me and actually kill off Jamie.
Yeah, so he leaves. He straight up leaves. And
Where's he going?
I raise a glass to you, Sir Jamie. You are a hero. Hit me up on those digits, man. For real.
For real.
For real.
So, and that leaves it with, and so it's not just that. We find out that fucking Bono didn't run away like a little bitch.
He's going to go
He
pick up the
actually
Golden
was
Army,
going to pick up the Golden Company.
which is weird because they're bringing elephants, and I'm just going, oh Jesus, we're repeating history. We're doing the
Yeah.
Alexander in the snow. Okay, fine. We'll see how well that goes.
Well, and here's the thing, and I read something online that says, is Dario coming back? Because we haven't really met the Golden Company.
No, we haven't. We do.
Here's the other thing, didn't Rhaegar, like the one, the green-haired Rhaegar that is not in Griff.
Griff.
Griff, who's not in the TV series. Wasn't he with the Golden Company? And I'm like, God, I hope they don't try and bring this in. Like, don't rope in this character. Not during the last season.
And you know,
not when I have 6 seasons left over.
Yeah,
or 6 episodes left over or something.
Like, a lot of people bitch about young Griff and Griff in the books. But for me, it's okay because in the books, we can explore it and have an interesting dynamic.
Right.
But when we have 6, maybe 7 hours left in a show, don't introduce new characters.
That's my fear.
Yeah. That
is my fear. And I'm really hoping that is not included. Also, it's snowing.
Oh.
In King's Landing.
It is.
What's that mean?
That means winter is here.
Winter is here, bitch.
And that takes care of that. The only thing we're going to do before we get to Winterfell is they have a brief little meeting about how everybody's going to get north.
Dragonstone?
And in Dragonstone. And basically, Jon Snow and Dany are riding in a boat. They're on a boat, motherfucker.
They're on a boat. Well, they're gonna go to. They're like, hey, she's like, I could fly there, and they're like, let's take the boat, and she's like, but I could really fly. You should probably fly there, and they're like, let's take the boat. It'll look better. Okay, so they decide to take the boat, and there's also Theon and Jon.
Oh yeah, Theon and
Jon. So Theon kind of chases Jon out and kind of talks to Jon, like he professes his undying love to Jon. No,
I would. I mean,
he was talking about
all, those eyes are dreamy, and later we get to see his ass, and I'm just saying, hot damn.
It's not the first time we've seen his ass.
Well, yeah. Anyways, I'm more of an abs man, and he has fent. Damn.
But Theon kind of goes and talks to Jon, talks about idolizes Jon and everything, and Jon says that he forgives him for everything he can forgive him for, which is really sweet. And this and Theon's like, I need to go save Yara. And Jon's like, then what the fuck are you still doing here? So, then we get this scene where Theon goes out to fucking the bearded jackwagon that drives his boat.
Who looks like Bono, but's not Bono.
Looks like Bono, but he's not Bono. I'm just going to call him the bearded jackwagon because we don't actually know what his name is. And the guy, starts to attack him. Then he goes for the bulls. Kick him in the bulls. He goes to kick him in the bulls, and then Theon's like, and then he goes 6 or 7 times at it, and then I don't know if the guy was just fucking baffled, and he just got a lucky shot in, but all of a sudden Theon's kicking his ass. How?
Theon gave him a great headbutt. You know, I'm excited for return to Berserker Theon Greyjoy that we haven't seen since season 2. Berserker Theon Greyjoy is the best.
I think that is super exciting because realistically, so there's this whole thing, and this is something that I just realized at the beginning of the episode where it's Bronn and it's Jaime, and they're talking about how it's all about cocks, why do eunuchs even fight? They can't have women. They fight for money. Well, what would they do with the money? Spend it on their families, which they can't have because they're eunuchs. He's like, oh, so I guess it is all about cocks. And then cut to Theon
getting kicked in the balls,
and then still fighting, and he's pushing for his family, but it's not like his children. He's pushing for his sister.
Yeah. And
I thought that was a really clever way to loop that back around.
And then let's go to Winterfell, and then because everything kind of ties so well together between Sam, Bran, and the boat.
Yeah.
But in Winterfell, Sansa calls Arya to the main hall, and she's being put on trial, and Arya's like, "Are you sure you want to do this?" And she's like, "I don't want to do this. It's what I have to do." And I'm like, I still fucking love Sansa in power. Again, we were groomed for 6 seasons for this, and it's paying off so good. And she turns, she goes, "You're put on trial for murder, treason, blah, 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 blah. How do you plead, Lord Baelish?"
Lord Baelish.
And Lord Baelish is like, oh. And
he's like, I'm confused. She's like, what part confuses you? And then just starts dropping fucking accusations. And it's like, oh, this is wonderful.
Yeah.
This is everything that I want. and like they get around to it, and he never actually he denies like one, and then he goes and he asks his Veil Bro, and the Veil Bro is like, no.
No, dog. Fuck you.
And like, so fucking Arya kills him.
Yeah, Arya straight up.
They never really say anything like you're guilty or anything super cliche like that. They just stick up for their family, and they just kind of like look at Arya, and Arya just straight up fucking cuts his throat.
Yep, which leads to I mean, as good as that scene was, because it's like Sansa finally getting rid of Peter Baelish, and I'm like, my one friend asked, "What?
Take his face."
John
Arya's
did.
gotta take his face.
John, who doesn't want me to say his last name, so I call him John Cage. Says, how pumped are you tonight? I'm freaking excited. Who do you think will die? And I say, as long as Littlefinger bites the dust, I'll be happy. Because honestly, out of everything, he is the one guy who can fuck up the most in the next season. So I'm glad they got rid of him here, because, like, again, he'd be trying to play something and it would fuck up a whole...
Arya's got to take his face.
Arya's got to take his face.
Arya's got to take his face. This is her first option to take somebody of power's face. I hope she just throws his face into her little face satchel and carries it around for the next time she's in King's Landing, because, like, whoop, bitch. Like, you could go to the Iron Bank.
That's what's going to happen with Cersei. Littlefinger is going to ask for, like, we need a meeting, and she's going to go, and she's going to be like, by the way, step.
And that would be best.
No, it's what's going to happen. Oh, calling it right now, calling my shot. When they find out that Cersei's not coming, Arya's going to be like, I'll be right back.
Yeah.
She's going to do it. So Peter Baelish is dead. There's this great little talk between Arya and Sansa up on the wall, well, the Winterfell wall. And
you get to hear the spooky quote that they've been having, like, Sansa in the trailer saying and everything like that.
Yeah, and it was a good scene, but they're still trying too hard.
Yeah.
I'm glad to see that they aren't. It's not Arya being a creepy fuck anymore.
Right.
And you're just like, okay, this was clearly them playing up for us in this, like...
I read this great episode where I read this great article where she was playing the Game of Faces with Sansa in the last episode.
Oh?
Like, she says, have you ever played the Game of Faces? You don't want to play with me. It's where you say things and you tell them, like, their truths and see if the other person can, like... see if you're lying. And, like, so all the super fucking creepy shit that she said in that last scene in the last episode was all just Arya playing the Game of Faces. Like, Arya doesn't want to take Sansa's face. Arya doesn't want to be a lady.
She doesn't want to be Sansa.
She doesn't want any of the things that she said that she was going to say.
And if she's so loyal to family, she wouldn't do that to family.
Right.
Because that's
even if it was pinning Jon against Sansa, she would be conflicted.
Yeah.
And not choose.
Which
she's gone this entire fucking season without seeing Jon.
Yeah. Also in the meeting, Bran is there, and he throws down one of his three-eyed ravens quote about how he knows everything, which sparked my status today. Did you see it?
I didn't.
Do you ever feel that Bran really isn't the three-eyed raven? He just has all the DVDs of the series.
I did see that.
Because it's like he's basically the audience at this point. He really is.
Which I guess is a clever way of doing that. So.
Okay, so here's another time jump that I don't know if anybody's bitching about, but all of a sudden Sam rolls up in Winterfell. and here's the thing: it's been like 2
episodes.
If you've been bitching about ravens, just remember Arya went from Essos to the twins in like 1 episode or less than an episode, and people have been jumping around left and right all the time. That there's space in between all this shit. So like. Sam leaving and getting to Winterfell in an episode or 2.
Right.
Fucking get over it. Really. Like, that's my thing. Like, if you aren't paying attention to the timeline and how things travel, you know that
you're
time jumps are happening. Like, storylines aren't synced up perfectly.
Right. It just isn't. It's just, that's not conducive storytelling.
And Sam knows how to talk to Bran by asking direct questions.
I'm being honest. Like,
I
I'm
don't
the
know.
three-eyed raven. Oh?
I don't know what that means.
I don't know what that means. Like,
And it's like it's right here. It's like,
nobody else has asked him that.
why I love Sam so much is because he's just so honest. He's like, oh, to be honest, I have no idea what that means. And you're just like, thank you, Sam, for being like the only reasonable fucking person on the planet.
Right?
Oh, I see everything in the past and what's happening now. Right on. It's just like, oh,
Right on.
okay, yeah.
Cool.
And
Sweet.
Then he's like, oh, Bran's all like, I have to tell John that he's not the son of Ned. He's the son of my aunt and Rhaegar. And he really isn't Snow. He's a
Jon
Sand.
Snow, he's John Sand.
And I'm like,
And
ugh,
you're like, Bran doesn't know.
no. And Sam's like, oh, BT Dubs, my girlfriend.
He doesn't say that.
No, he
He
should have.
takes credit for it.
Fucking
He
bastard.
fucking takes credit for the biggest knowledge bomb of the whole season. And Gilly's just back there, like, sitting on a fucking,
Sam,
like,
Sam
hayloft or
fucking
something.
mansplained it. Just when
He
he was
fucking mansplained. Fucking Sam
Fucking
thought he
bastard.
was so sensitive. Wrong. He's
Wrong.
like, yeah, I was just transcribing this diary, and I found that. And it's
Bullshit.
like, I'm calling some
Bullshit.
bullshit on that. He's like, but they were annulled and actually married. They're like, oh my god. And then they had this just fucking wrong, like, cutscenes where they're like, you're seeing Rhaegar
John.
and Lyanna
getting married.
getting married, and
Cuts
Rhaegar
to-
looks just like Viserion,
Right,
which
why
fucking
did-
weird.
Why did they
Uh,
do that? He should have been like.
It should have just been a different
He
guy.
should have been a different guy. He should have had a different haircut, and he probably should have been a little bit buffer. Because I don't know why, but I always just thought.
Well, Rhaegar was the musician. Like, Rhaegar was yeah,
Rhaegar-
he should have been buffer.
He should have been. I'm not talking like Mountain or
Right, but Jon Snow build though.
Jon Snow, or I would even accept Giant's Bane.
Yeah,
Just a little bit
just a
bulkier.
guy.
You just
No, not like a guy, but like a guy.
like we don't want thin. We already got disappointed by young Ned Stark being like this little
Aw,
pre-tween
whippish.
bitch.
Yeah.
Like give me a guy, because like when I don't know about you, but I have this great picture, this wallpaper of the Battle of the Triton, and it shows Baratheon, and it's like all this super stylized. So he's like wearing all yellow, and his helmet is just like antlers, and it looks sweet as hell.
Oh, that's cool.
And he's just like beating on Rhaegar, and he's in this like red garb, and his like helmet is actually like a dragon, and it looks sweet. And I'm like, this is how I like, picture it. And it's like
Right.
it's like your stylized idea of knights, like these big guys. And I'm like, yeah, I know they're like 20 at the time, but like, come on, give me
Right,
like
give
a
me
bigger
give me
guy.
more. Well, and that's the thing is like it just don't like I wasn't really okay with it. But anyways, so they're showing that, and then they go and they talk about like they start intersplicing John going in for the booty call,
The booty call.
and like
Booty, booty,
going
booty,
in there,
booty,
and
booty,
it's
away.
like John's real name is Aegon Targaryen.
Which lame. We already have enough egg.
Lame. I hate it so much. We didn't need another Aegon.
We already got enough
Could have
eggs.
just made it up.
Could've just-
Why'd you have to wait?
Yeah.
You could have just made it up. Why'd you have to have an egg?
Why do we have to have another egg? We don't need no.
Why do we have to have another egg?
Don't need no goddamn eggs.
And then we talk, and then they're like, you get this Bran overlay of like talking about like John's relation to Dany, and
The
and
booty
then
call's
he's
going
like,
on.
and the booty call's going on, and the booty is going on,
The
and
J-
you just want to grab
Jon
it.
Snow's booty's just right there. You
Jon
want to
Snow's booty's
bite
just
out of it.
got it going on. It's all I want, and I waited for so long. We, and then they're like, and he is the heir to the Iron Throne. And like, I'm sorry if you didn't know all this already. You weren't paying attention.
Like this is the
but,
knowledge
like,
bomb
this
that we
is
got in.
Gross.
We got this knowledge bomb last season finale. You could
Yeah.
pretty much piece it all together, and like in the second episode, we found out that he is, the rightful heir, thanks to
Only thing that we learned here is that his name is Aegon.
which is awful. And it's like, even if he is the rightful heir, he don't want it.
So
He's not
like
gonna take it.
the creepy thing is just this like layover of Bran mansplaining this to us, like spoon feeding it for the people who aren't smart enough to put the things together or don't know how to use the internet. And like while they're boning, like the boning that we've all been waiting
instead
for.
of getting the great sex scene that we deserve.
Yeah, we were just reminded that, oh yeah, that's his auntie. Gross.
Gross. Except
Gross. I mean, at least they're not full-blooded, like, related, sort of.
Yeah, they're more or less.
They're still
really related.
They're still related.
They're shipped.
So, yeah, and you got creepy Tyrion, like.
Fuck, what was Tyrion doing? He's like, ooh, gonna get that booty.
He's like, what's going on in there? Some people said it looked like he was mad. Some people said it looked like his feelers were hurt. I don't really know. Like, I couldn't really read it. It's like Tyrion didn't really think he was gonna get all up in that, right?
No,
like,
it's just I think he's more worried about the.
What if there's a bastard?
What if there's a bastard? What if something happens to either of them? It's gonna cause the other one to go crazy.
Right.
And he's more Tyrion's always thinking like 4 or 5 moves ahead.
Right.
So I don't know. Yeah.
So we got that. That happens. And then you get to creep ass Bran just fucking staring at a tree. And you're like, why is Bran staring at a tree again? And they kind of pan over and he's actually seeing. And we go to Eastwatch.
And that beautiful gingered bastard better run fast because he needs to have monster babies with fucking Brienne.
Fucking Brienne. So this whole thing happens, and you're like, okay, we're gonna see them come up to the wall. Like that's gonna be how they end the season, and they're gonna start like climbing the wall. And like these are the stories that I tell myself, and I tell myself, I wonder how the White Walkers are going to get through the wall.
Especially since last season we found out that they can't get next to the wall because of magic wards in it. Right. They're affected by it. So I'm going, what is their big plan to get past the wall? And even their big plan doesn't make sense because magic in the fucking wall.
But lo, here comes fucking Dragonite. Coming through with his ice beam, blowing up the wall. Like, what? And, I'm literally, staring. Edge of the seat, mouth just, hanging open, watching this happen. Never imagined it in my wildest dreams. I'm going to be completely honest. Everybody says, what was it? Is it blue fire? Is it ice? It's a motherfucking ice beam! It's not melting.
It looked like hyper beam.
Maybe more like hyper beam, hyper ice beam.
Hyper ice beam, done.
Hyper ice beam. We'll call it that.
Clearly, this dragon got mega evolved.
Upgrade. Yeah, he's got a mega evolution.
Mega evolution to White Walker dragon. Just saying.
You can tell he's a White Walker dragon because they put holes in his wings.
Yeah, because he's dead, even though
because he's dead.
Because they wouldn't decompose that fast. I'm sorry. Now I'm being picky.
Yeah, well. I'd rather be picky about those things than other things.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
so they break the wall,
and that's where we are.
So they break the wall, and the walkers are there, and that's where we're at. And I'm just like, okay. Everyone's like, aren't you worried about the White Walkers? I'm like, Peter Baelish is dead. I'm good.
And for me, it's like, aren't you worried about the White Walkers? It's like we knew this would happen. What did worry me? So we talk about these time travel and these loops and everything, but I did look up the interactive map of Westeros. And Eastwatch ain't that far from Winterfell. I know that we talk about them traveling there pretty fucking fast, but, it's really not far from Winterfell. So, the question being, it took them 7 seasons to get to the fucking wall. How long is it going to take them to get to Winterfell? I think they're just going to be there.
They're just going to be there.
I think they're just going to be there. That's going to be, the start of the next season.
Knocking on the door. I don't know. Where the fuck is Eastwatch?
It's east and north. It's literally east of the fucking Night's Watch. What's that called? Castle Black.
Okay.
North of Winterfell, directly north of Winterfell, and then east.
I'm not getting the proper map, so I'm just getting one of the fan ones, and Oh shit, yeah, they're pretty fucking close, aren't they?
Pretty fucking close.
Oh shit, yeah. Um,
Yeah, they done fucked.
we're fucked.
We're
But
fucked.
I mean, the good thing is like this next season is probably going to be like the most action packed because again, everyone's complaining about the season not having character development. We had 6 fucking seasons of character development.
Right.
This is us
We
now
ain't got
having
time
our
for that.
cake. This is now our cake is done and we are eating it.
Well, and that's yeah. I mean, Jamie still had some character development.
Yeah, I'm like there is still character development in there. Don't fucking.
Sansa had some character development in there. I know that people are bitching, and I just think that this season was so well done.
Yes.
Like, I think it was a good balance of action packed and like knowledge.
Knowledge
Like,
bombs.
everybody said that last week was the best episode, and I'm like,
It
eh.
was a big fight, and the fight was kind of okay. I liked the dragon attack more on the Lannister army, and I liked elements in this one more. It's just,
Yeah.
it's one of those things like we are now moving faster because they can, and
Yeah.
they're doing it, and we're now cutting out all of the fluff, and everyone's complaining about it when people were complaining about the fluff to begin with.
Well, and I think people just want more episodes.
Yeah, I don't blame them for that. But
we didn't even have it in the budget to put Ghost in this season, so
right, missing Ghost.
it's just
Clearly, he got captured by the ghost.
got a new Lost Dog posters we're gonna start hanging up.
Yeah, I probably should. So that's it. We will be back for Defenders eventually. I know everybody's watched it, but we have things to say. And we will definitely, don't even think about it, we are binge watching the shit out of Stranger Things Season 2.
Yes, we are!
So we got things to hold us over. And that's it.
There's some other things. Something else comes this way. We should do a review of Flatliners.
Flatliners? You need the old one with...
The new one.
Oh, fuck.
New one with Ellen Page.
I don't want to see that.
Or It.
I'm all for it. I am on the hunt for that book without the shitty movie poster cover.
Good luck.
I found
Might be
one.
able to-
I can find it on Amazon easily.
I was gonna say you could borrow it from somebody.
I prefer the hunt. Okay.
Or there's a library. Like, do you know what a library is?
Library?
A library?
Library. Say goodnight, Jess.
Good night, Jess.
I hate you so much.
No, you don't.